If you're afraid to fail, watch this. Are you someone who's tired of feeling stuck, feeling like you're trapped in this cycle of underachievement, knowing how much more you could be doing? Do you sometimes look at yourself in the mirror and go, is this it? Is this all I'm capable of? Well, if you answered yes to any of those questions, you really need to hear this. It is your fear of failure or the fear that things won't work out, which is what's holding you trapped. Holding you hostage, I'd go as far as saying that. I get it. Everybody tells us to play it safe, to choose the practical path, to have a plan B. Gotta have my plan B. How casually we just throw it out there that I have a plan B, or gotta have a plan B. Let me tell you this from personal experience. Plan B is often the greatest enemy of plan A. So today, we're gonna dive deep into the heart of what really keeps us paralyzed and stuck. I'd been there multiple times in my life, and it always came down to the fear of failing, even fearing those words from others, I told you so. So I'm gonna redefine failure here. Then I'm gonna demystify the illusion of plan B, and I'm gonna arm you with a mindset you really need to hit the goals which you're even afraid to admit you have. Are you ready to break free? Are you truly ready to unlock the life you've always dreamed of, but perhaps were too afraid to pursue, too scared to go after? And stay tuned. If you're afraid to fail, you must watch this. You're all here because you're hardworking. You've given your sweat and tears. I get it. For many of you, you've not seen the financial success. Many of you have not seen other forms of success that you thought would come with the hard work. So today, we're gonna dig into the meaty issue here that many people in your situation face, and that is the fear of failure. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I lose everything? So the first thing we need to discuss is really setting the stage for either success or failure. And that your mindset, how you think, how you perceive things is really the foundation. You see, a leading psychologist, her name is Carol Dweck, from Stanford University, she performed an extensive research on what she calls a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset. In her book, Carol argues that people with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and their talents are set in stone, or that things are this way, and that things cannot change, or they're too hard to change. And these individuals are often the ones, there's a common link here, who truly fear failure. And they fear it the most because they think that failing is a direct reflection of their worth, their own self-worth. On the other hand, individuals with a growth mindset, you see, they see failures as opportunities to grow and learn. Now they really do. They see failures as something that gave them information they needed in order to course correct, in order to do it better. That's the example of a truly a growth mindset. Now I work with thousands of people, helping them get business success, personal success, or career success. And so I want to share a couple of examples here. Let's take Sarah. Sarah is someone I worked with, and she was sort of stuck in a mid-level job for a long time, and she was working 60-hour weeks, and she's always living paycheck to paycheck. That's in spite of the fact that her salary or her income would go up from time to time. But somehow she always found a way to be living paycheck to paycheck. She did come from a troubled background. She had a few traumatic experiences that made her see life through a lens of fear and scarcity all of the time, no matter how much she earned, no matter what job she had. Her fear of failing was so high, she never really took any risks, playing it safe. And so her life stayed stagnant. She thinks she was growing, but she was at the same spot. This is what happens to most people. And we worked together, we shifted her views, her ideas, her mindset, got rid of some traumas or traumatic memories, and so that she could look at opportunities. She could look at risk as opportunity rather than a way to fail. We really dug deep into her spirituality, beliefs, and helped her face her own traumas. Now, once she moved to this growth mindset, she was not afraid to take the right risks. She started her own company. She's still running it today and doing something she actually really enjoys. She's never been happier or more financially confident. She's financially not just stable, but confident. She knows she can make money. She knows she can make more money. She's not living in fear. You see, your mindset is the stage. It's the stage where your life plays out. And if you set it up for failure, you will find reasons to avoid risks. You make excuses and you always stay in the safety, in the comfort, in the familiar, and you will continue perpetuating the cycle of stagnancy. I promise you have seen this thousands of times, but you can set up that stage for success, and you'll find opportunities in every challenge and even growth in every failure. How incredible is that life? You see, I've lived in both sides, and I can tell you, I prefer the second one 1,000 times more. Because it doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna head into challenges. You're gonna head into obstacles. You're gonna have these things called failures. Failures doesn't mean you are a failure. It just means that something you didn't work. And this is the notion that having a backup plan, this can counterintuitively truly sabotage your chances of success, even in your primary endeavor. So I'm gonna tell you this, a plan B can sometimes actually serve as a psychological safety net. It makes you less committed, less focused, and less hungry even for your main goal, your plan A. Now, a couple of researchers, Jihai and Shin of the University of Wisconsin and Catherine Milkman of the Wharton School, they actually investigated the psychological effects of making backup plans. See, a lot of people say, I have a backup. And their research, which was actually published in a journal, it found that merely thinking about a backup plan can reduce the intensity of your efforts and your performance for your plan A, your primary goal. Just the thought of having it, just the thought of wanting it and needing it. Now, in the business arena, there is actually a famous quote from Will Smith. He said, there is no reason to have a plan B because it distracts you from plan A. Listen to that. This perspective is about throwing yourself entirely, completely, fully into what it is you truly want. No safety nets to catch you if things don't work out. Don't need it, and you don't want to have it. I know this is probably different to anything you've ever heard. So the lesson here is, although backup plans can be reassuring, they may unintentionally damage your progress. The comfort of a plan B can sometimes make you less invested in succeeding at plan A. What do you really want? So if you're serious about achieving your main goal, your primary objective, consider making it your only objective. Make your plan A, your only plan. Now let's compare for a moment fear of failure versus love for success. Now this is about identifying the main motivator behind your actions. What is truly motivating? Are you driven by the fear of failing? Some people are. Some people are actually motivated. They get the energy by not landing up in a certain situations. Same with fear of failing. Some people are motivated to go after what they want so that they don't fail. But some people are fueled by a love for what they want, a love for succeeding. They're looking here. They're not looking here where there is failure and then running away from that. Even though they're moving in that direction, it's what is truly motivating them. So understanding this factor, the motivation factor, because that's what ultimately shapes your approach, is super important. There's actually a growing body of research that shows how different types of motivation can lead to very different outcomes in the end. Now, Dr. Tori Higgins, a social psychologist at Columbia University, has delved into this exact theory. It's called she called it the regulatory focus theory. And according to Higgins, there are two primary motivational orientations, if you can call that. A prevention focused, I don't want that, or a promotion focused. That's what I want. Both motivate you, by the way. Now, let's look at prevention focused. You see, prevention focused, people who are prevention focused, they're motivated by safety, responsibilities, and the fear of losing what they already have. And that motivates them. But it's all about, I don't want to lose that, right? This is very similar to being driven by the fear of failure. Now let's look at promotion focused, right? In this case, the individuals are motivated by accomplishments, by hopes, aspirations. It's a very, very important point. This is parallel to being driven by a love for what you want. Now, what Higgins found is that promotion-focused individuals are more willing to take calculated risks. They think creatively, and they're generally more open to experiencing growth. And so that they actually set the stage for groundbreaking achievements. And when things hit them, they take the feedback, they take the information so that they can change course or change what they're doing. I'll give you another example here. Someone called Emily. Emily was very talented. She's an artist. She spent most of her time creating art, which she thought would sell. Problem is, she was so afraid of failing, so afraid of not making it, and so afraid of not making a living doing that. And so she produced very safe art that she assumed had commercial value. She thought that's what people would buy. Now, she didn't make some sales, but she was not enjoying it at all. See, her business was not thriving. We did some work together. We assessed her motivation factors, looked at her values, looked at her fears, looked at her ideas about life, about herself, where has she taken these beliefs from, look at the decisions she's made, did some work, and she shifted her focus from the fear of failing to a love for creating meaningful art. So we worked on developing a super promotion focused mindset, and that encouraged her to take risks in her artwork. She started to create pieces that were really close to her heart and reflected her true artistic style. Just within a few months, not only was she enjoying what she did a lot, her work, but her art started attracting more attention and better prices. It was as if like her newfound love for succeeding, not in not failing, in succeeding, in doing what she truly enjoyed. It was like it was radiating through her artwork. Success was guaranteed. Now, let's talk about the danger zone, the doubts and the negative voices. I'm talking about the mental space where self-doubt, pessimism, and negative external influences, we've all had them, they accumulate and they cloud our vision and they derail us potentially from our path to what we want. Now, Dr. Ammon, a psychiatrist and a brain disorder specialist, calls these negative thoughts ANTs, automatic negative thoughts. Talked about it in his work. According to Dr. Ammon, these ants, they can disrupt your life and even have the power to derail your mental health. Mental health is an epidemic, and these things, they serve as mental barriers that prevent you from taking action, leading you to a cycle of hesitation, ongoing missed opportunities. The psychologists have also identified something called the negativity bias. This is the human tendency to give more psychological weight to bad experiences. Yes, we do that, than the good ones. This is an evolutionary trait. It's how we evolved, and it was designed to keep us alert to potential dangers. But in our modern world, it really often serves as an obstacle to growth and achievement. And this danger zone, this is a mental battlefield, and the fight is against your self-doubt and negative influences. So see it for what it is. Recognize it for what it is, a danger to your success. Equip yourself with the right psychological tools and the right support system to navigate through this, what I would call is a treacherous mental terrain. And now let's redefine failure. Let's really look at it and understand what it is. We've been talking about it. I want to break it down. And this is, our final point for today's transformative journey is about redefining failure. So up to this point, many of you may have been viewing failure as like a setback, as a reflection on you, a mark against you, or even as an end to your aspirations. I'm sure many of you have. I did that plenty of times. But what if I told you that's a very limited and in fact a harmful way to view failure? You see, redefining failure is about shifting your perception to see failure as not as an end, but as a very valuable experience. There's plenty of people around the world who will tell you, who've done something substantial, they'll tell you along the way they had these failures, these obstacles, these setbacks, and they became more because of that. They learned more because of that. And they became the stepping stone as they look back at their life on the road to their success. Now, Carol Dweck, who we mentioned earlier, her work on the growth mindset, it actually shows how our perceptions of failure are very closely tied to our beliefs about our own abilities. You see, that's the problem. Therein lies the problem. But people with a growth mindset, they tend to see failures as learning experiences. What did I learn from that? Which is what helps them continually improve and grow. And Dr. Dweck's extensive research shows that this mindset not only improves your resilience, but it also significantly enhances your capacity to create the success you want. Now, as we conclude, I challenge each one of you to redefine what failure means to you. Is it really the end of the road, or is it just a bend in your journey? By shifting your mindset, you can truly transform your experiences of failure into stepping stones towards your success. Remember, every failure is a chapter, only a chapter in your life. It's not the whole story. Every setback is a piece of your story. It is definitely not the whole story. So go ahead and share in the comments below, how will you see failure from this point on, and what are the steps you're going to take now to change your approach. I'll see you in another video very soon.